the news topics of the day. For some reason, people want us to talk about Latin America, so we will do just that. Now over to Danielle with a little intro into the news topic.
Thanks, Emily. Latin America had 6 main factors from 1979 to 2012 present day. The 6 factors are the Panama Canal, Nicaragua and the Contra Affair, El Salvador, Grenada, invasion of Panama, and relations with Cuba. Now over to Kat and Riley with more news about the Panama Canal.
So Riley, what even is the Panama Canal?
Kat, the Panama Canal was a link to the Pacific Ocean, to the Caribbean Sea, and Atlantic Ocean through the Isthmus of Central America. It was 50.7 miles long, which helped to decrease the amount of time it took to trade.
That is very interesting. When did it take place?
The Panama Canal was completed and opened in 1914. During 1978, President Carter made a treaty saying the canal would be given full control to Panama in 2000. It was controlled by the United States until 1979, when control was returned to Panama.
Oh, I remember this now. The outcome was the Operation of Just Cause, which was an airland assault and invasion of Panama. The Norwegians surrendered to Americans and Panama held an election for new officials, and everything returned to normal.
Well, thanks, Kat. It sounds about right to me. How about we move on to Nicaragua and the Iran-Contra affair with Emily and Lindsay.
So Lindsay, what even is the Nicaragua and Iran-Contra affair?
The Nicaragua and Iran-Contra affair was 2 different foreign policy problems. The problems came within Reagan's government at the beginning of his second term. Had to secure the release of U.S. hostages held by Iranian-backed kidnappers in Lebanon, and how to support the Contra rebels fighting against the Nicaragua's Cuban-style Sandinista government.
That is very interesting. When did that take place?
The Iran-Contra scandal seized America's attention during 1985 and 1987. Until then, the Reagan administration had secretly negotiated the sale of arms to Iran in order to finance aid to the Contra rebels, who were fighting the Marxist Sandinista government in Nicaragua.
Oh, I remember this now. The outcome was an American aid to Iran, which was a violation of the Boland Amendment, which prohibited Americans from aiding the Iranian Contras during 1984 to 1986, and said that America could not negotiate with Iran because they were holding Americans hostage.
That sounds about right. How about we move on to El Salvador with Kat and Danielle? So, Danielle, what even is the point about El Salvador?
Well, Kat, El Salvador is considered one of the most conservative and religious countries in Latin America. During the end of the Civil War, there were high unemployment rates. The proliferation of guns and a society shaped by 12 years of fighting was believed to have contributed to one of the highest murder rates in Latin America. And the world, 49 murders per 100,000 people in 2007, or 9 murders a day on average. More than 16,000 people were killed between 2003 and 2007.
Wow, that's crazy and very interesting. When did it take place?
This took place during and after the Civil War, from 1992 till present day.
Wow, I remember this now. The outcome was El Salvador was just not having luck concerning the unemployment rates and the murder rates.
Yeah, that sounds about right. How about we move on to Grenada with Riley and Lindsay?
Let's do that. So Riley, what is Grenada?
Grenada is a small island in the Caribbean, at the tip of the Windward Islands.
Interesting. When did it take place?
In October of 1983, the U.S. military forces had to invade Grenada to try and stop it from forming into a satellite of the Soviet Union. Grenada finally gained independence in 1974. Starting in 1979, the small island was under the rule of the Marxist Party leader, Maurice Bishop.
The outcome was that, in 1983, Bishop was overthrown, and the coup began establishing a greater communist government. The U.S. President, Reagan, ordered American forces to invade the island. In 1983, the U.S. began Operation Urgent Fury. Grenada was safe after 3 days. This invasion allowed the people of Grenada to hold their own elections for a parliamentary-style government.
Now over to Danielle and Emily.
So, Emily, what even was the invasion of Panama?
The invasion of Panama was a short war between the United States and Panama. the United States decided to invade to try and help secure the Panama Canal and try to remove the dictator Manuel Noriega. This invasion became known as Just Cause.
Wow, that is really interesting. When did this take place?
In 1978, Jimmy Carter created a new treaty with Panama. This treaty allowed Panama to control the Panama Canal in 2000. This treaty only lasted 10 years until trouble arose between Panama and the United States. The president of Panama tried to remove General Manuel Noriega, the head of their military, and because of this, he was overthrown in a coup.
Oh, I remember this now. The outcome was Noriega had a lot of support, so after this invasion was over, it completely vanished. Previous elected officials were put into office, and Noriega surrendered. Panama returned to normal.
And now over to Lindsay and Kat with relations with Cuba.
So, Lindsay, what even are the relations with Cuba? There's tension between the relations of the United States and Cuba. Cuba had only one ally, the USSR. In January of 1981, Ronald Reagan finally came to the presidency and issued a policy against Cuba which tightened the embargo they had together.
That's pretty interesting. Did any of that change?
By 1989, the U.S. Department of Treasury allowed U.S. citizens to travel to Cuba, but only allowed to spend a max of $100 per day. Just the following year, in 1990, the U.S. Congress prohibited all trade with Cuba in the Mac Amendment. It also stated that there couldn't be any aid to any country that bought sugar or other products from Cuba.
Now over to a short video on the Panama Canal.
I said, that's not my wife! Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, boss?
Doing alright, man?
So, you know how Miss Anderson is like really, really
Dude, she's awesome, okay?
Beyond
awesome.
beyond awesome. I actually wrote her a song.
Dude, so did I.
Wait.
Oh, wait, hold on. You guys all know this
Dude,
song?
I wrote her a song.
Okay, hold on.
Do y'all want to hear my song?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, what's up?
Okay,
please.
1 second. Let's read.
That's good.
The Panama Canal is like a really big dam that was started by the French but became American. Pacific to Atlantic was way too long until President Roosevelt came along. But we couldn't start because of the Colombians. John Hayes said we had to share this land.
Before construction started, we had to prepare. All the French had died, but we weren't scared. After 3